All right, let's talk about beer. So, as far as drinking goes, alcohol, if I had to split beer and makgeolli into two camps, I probably drink 70% beer, 30% makgeolli, just generally. It's much easier to have a can of beer on a random occasion, right, than it is to have a bottle of makgeolli. Drinking a bottle of makgeolli, it's only 5%, so it's not that big a deal. But again, it's much easier if you're out with friends, go grab a beer. When you do go out with a lot of friends and you pitch the idea of going out to a makgeolli bar, even if people like makgeolli, there is resistance to that. So going out for beers is much easier. So, why do I know about beer? Again, like makgeolli, I've been drinking beer for, oh God. Like, not my first beer, but like, wow, beer's good. 13, 14 years since I was like in university when I started. I had a steam whistle, Pilsner in Canada. I thought, wow, beer can taste good. Everyone's had that makgeolli moment too, where you have a different kind of makgeolli and you go, oh, wow, I like this. And that was steam whistle Pilsner for me. So, I came to Korea and I got here right when the craft scene was kind of coming up, which is good because I did like craft beer in Toronto too prior to moving here. So, I kind of grew up here in Korea with this burgeoning craft beer market here. So recently I decided, after all this makgeolli brewing and stuff, hey, why don't I start to get into beer? Because if I ever do move back to Canada, having a knowledge of beer production and beer making would come in handy. So, this has all led to me brewing now. Haha! So this is a Belgian double. I'm not going to open it. I have two of these and I've promised them to other people, so, but you can see. So, as far as education in beer goes, there's really not one authority, but if you're not taking brewing classes and you want beer knowledge classes, Cicerone.org is one of the premier kind of like educational tools for that. I have level 1, which I'll show you. This is a certified beer server, and I got the international edition, obviously. There's no Canadian one, and I didn't want to restrict myself to the US one, so I got the international one. So what does that mean? Well, there's basically a few different parts. There's knowledge about keeping and serving beer, so bar stuff. And then there's the brewing ingredients and processes, which is more of like the brewing side of things. And then, there's the third part, which is beer styles, which is just, that's the part I did worst on the exam. It's just every single style of beer. And you're thinking like, lager, ale, porter. No, it's like so much more specific than that. A dunkel Weissbier, a Rauschbier, a Lambic, a Goose, a Goes. And you're like, and you have to remember, character profile and color profile and what hops are in them, generally speaking, and it's just so much to memorize. But I did get my level 1, so that's that certificate here. Now, to become a certified Cicerone, you need to pass a bunch of tests, and there's 6 things. There's the keeping and serving beer. There's the brewing processes and ingredients. This is all level 2 books now. This will get you through level 1, but this is specifically to study for level 2, which would make you a qualified Cicerone, which is like the sommelier of the beer world. And then there's 4 different books for this. I have the American Beer Styles one. There's also a UK-Ireland one, a Belgian one, and a German one too. So these are only 3 of the 6 books. And you have to go to Shanghai to do the test. And you have to do tastings to identify beer, and an off-flavor test to kind of identify different things like that can come up in beer, like DMS and diacetyl and all this other chemicals that shouldn't be in beer that have particular tastes. So level 2, if I do even attempt that, is going to be a massive endeavor, which is like, twice as much studying as this and knowing every single beer ever made. So we'll see. If I pass these online tests with these specific books, that will put little qualifiers on my level 1 that'll say, oh, he passed the online test for level 2 keeping and serving beer. Now, that's not a Cicerone certificate, but I will have kind of an extra thing on here that will say he studied it and he knows the textbook stuff. It won't get me level 2, but if I did... I specifically got American Beer Styles because of the fact that I'm Canadian, and the craft beer scene globally really does rely more on American beer styles than German ones, obviously. Craft brewers they make German beers, but if you really want to kind of dabble and do interesting things, you're not making German beer recipes. They're the least creative and most restrictive of those cultures. America being first, UK I would say is next, but that comes from, again, American influence in the UK. I've seen a lot of interviews with UK brewers and they say, oh, I'm really influenced by California or this and that. Belgians also have like a long, again, European countries have a long history of making things a certain way. And if you've been making beers for hundreds of years and doing it and you're successful, it's the young and upcoming craft brewers in Europe that are making interesting things. And again, they are very much taking inspiration from the American book. They're less restricted. And Nick mentioned that in the Chill Hops video that I interviewed him in. So what can you do to educate yourself in this kind of stuff? As far as the beer stuff goes, just go to Seoul or whatever city you're in, or maybe you're in the countryside and there's a craft brewery out there. Just go and drink and ask if the brewer's there and just talk to him. I love talking about this stuff. If you ask me like, Kevin, what do you think? I mean, you're not bothering me. You know what I mean? I will talk to you about this stuff. Passion of mine, go pick their brain. Also, just go to cicerone.org and take a quiz for free and see if you're interested in that kind of stuff. The level 1 costs $70. There's a PDF that you can get online to study for it. You can find it online. It's not expensive. Level 2 is a big pain in the ass. But level 1, if you just kind of want to go, hey, I know about beer. Not expensive. Study for a couple of weeks. You'll be okay if you like beer. The Mockley stuff, definitely hit up the Sewell company, which I'll link below. That's Julia's company. Now, she doesn't run Susubori per se, but they've partnered with her for her to teach the English classes. So if you do want to, and you can just take they often host just one-day classes where you make a very simple makgeolli, the steamed rice, water, and noodle one. You can just go and make that, leave it at home, filter it in a couple of weeks, taste it. Yeah, it tastes like this, it tastes like that. Or you can go deeper like I did and get level 1 and 2 from them. It's up to you how deep you want to educate yourself on this stuff. So definitely check out my links below if you want to get more educated on this kind of stuff. But that is how I've come to this point where I'm brewing beer and I'm brewing makgeolli and I'm going to tastings and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So I hope you've learned something today. If not about beer and makgeolli, then about myself and how to educate yourself on makgeolli and beer. I basically made this video because I know there's people watching going, what the hell does he know? Who's this guy? How does he know about this stuff? I don't trust him. Well, there you go. I've proved myself to the world. That's not actually why. I just love talking about this stuff. But it's good to be back on YouTube. I'm making more videos. I have a 5-week vacation, so I'm going to film some stuff, and I will see you soon in the next video.